Welcome, everyone, to Platonic Gaming.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Ben, this time, not Kyle.
Ah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I feel the
Anyway, today I will be playing Metroid Dread. I'm joined, as always, by Ben on my left and Kyle on my right. So today, our question is, what is more important, intentions or outcomes? So, and this is referring to kind of do the ends justify the means type situation, basically.
Right.
Oh, okay. That's what actually makes it different for me. So my initial opinion is outcome. But ends justify the means is different because it changes the outcome and whatnot. Because ends justify the means would mean potentially, killing a whole race of Jews for, so to speak, perfect society, right?
But that's a really hypothetical situation.
Purely hypothetical.
Yeah, and I think what distinguishes it is where, in the case where does the end justify the means, is somebody's intentionally doing things that are morally reprehensible for a good end, whereas intentions versus outcomes means somebody might have good intentions, like they might be doing something good, but then it ends up doing something bad.
Or the reverse.
Or
you might have bad intentions, but they unintentionally cause something good to happen.
Right.
Everyone already kind of knows the answer to ends justify the means simply because of stuff like World War II.
I mean, there are some people that
does not always
disagree.
Justify the means. Well, sure.
Which is why there's a problem.
Which
is why that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about intentions versus outcomes, Kyle.
Well, I know. I just needed to distinctify the two because, to me, they're two different questions.
I'm going to go ahead and take a stance here. I think intentions are more important than outcome. As far as judging someone, like if you're in court or if you're judging someone to determine if they're a good or a bad person, I think intentions are more important than outcome.
I would say the laws of the universe disagree with you.
I'm not arguing with the laws of the universe right now.
Oh, okay.
And I also don't know why you say that. But I'm going to justify my side first.
Okay. You justify.
So if somebody has good intentions, then they're probably a good person, right?
Right.
If they do, and regardless of whether or not it ends up the way they thought, because nothing ever ends up the way you always think. Your intentions help show who you are and like where your mindset is and what you want to happen, regardless of what actually happens.
Okay, so would you say that, like, in that case, just as a general rule, if someone doesn't intend for something bad to happen, but they do inadvertently cause something bad to happen, they're not really accountable for that?
Accountability is an interesting point that I didn't initially think of.
Right, and that was where I meant...
I think they...
That's where I meant the laws of the universe are against you on that, because to some extent accountability gets taken somewhere. Somebody is taking accountability for said moral and immoral action, right? Whether it ends up being you or not, usually the accountability happens regardless, right?
Yeah, you can't stop the consequences.
You can't stop the consequences, and that's where I would say the outcome not justifies the means, but is more important because more often than not, especially with how limited our knowledge is of the infinite and or the just everything that's actually going on around us in other people's lives and in everything, more often than not, our so-called good intentions end up being more selfish than we think, right? But don't let that confuse you with ends justify the means.
Yeah, we already said this is a different question.
Right. And that's why I was making a distinction at the beginning.
Well, this robot just told some things to Samus.
Yeah, he did. But I didn't care what
Samus.
they were because I'm Samus and I don't need a robot's help. I just need an Iron Man suit and that's all.
That doesn't fly.
But you can't fly.
Who cares? Samus could beat up Iron Man easy.
Well, let's put it this way.
Iron Man's a superhero.
Yeah, but Samus is a freaking bounty hunter. Bounty hunters don't care about superheroes.
So, that's kind of a pretty open and shut case for me as far as that goes.
Well, I happen to disagree. I mean, I guess we're talking slightly about different things. So you're talking about outcomes as they refer to, like, outcomes matter more than intentions on the grand scale of the universe and society and whatever else, right?
Yes.
I'm talking more about...
As you as a person?
Yeah, when you're judging someone based on, you know, what kind of person they are.
Well, that's why you're not supposed to judge people.
You are supposed to judge people. How else could you know anything about anyone ever?
You just stop.
Stop knowing things?
Stop knowing things. I'd rather know things.
Yeah,
I don't think the downs are for judging people like being judgmental.
I know. On a realistic scale of, you know, who to be friends with, even like
who to trust,
or even simply like not even good or bad judgments, where it's just like oh, I simply judge this person in front of me to help me get my coffee because, well, they're a coffee barista, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so you're always making judgments.
Right, and that's not like a particularly good or bad judgment, you know. And you still have to make it, and but when you take away the good or bad out of it, you're also taking away the moral issue between it. If that makes sense.
I guess.
I make the judgment that is not okay.
That thing?
Yeah, that thing. Super sketch.
Yeah, dude, he's gonna probably kill me. Even though I'm a gamer.
You're something like that.
But anyway. Ben. What is your opinion? I think you've commented on both of our opinions. What do you think is more important?
I think it's a little bit of a blend of both. But I think that overall, if you're talking about outcomes, you cannot really fully control outcomes. There's so many other variables that if you are doing your best to create the outcome that you want, right, a good outcome, and it doesn't work, that, like, in terms of, like,
nobody can morally
that stinks, but no one can really blame you for that, and you shouldn't, like, feel bad about that or anything. Like, you should know that you've done your best and that it just didn't work out.
Well, right, and that's the reality we have to face as people, is just the acceptance of we have no understanding of the infinite, and that's just the way it is. And so the best we can offer is like this, you know, whatever you decide your moral good is to the world or the universe, right? You use that false sense of judgment we were just talking about, and you try and make good things happen.
Toast.
And then if they do happen, that's great. If they don't happen, well, that's just the majority of it, and that's all that can be asked of someone with our capabilities, right?
So I guess then if you're talking about outcomes and like if you're in court or something, right?
Okay.
And you say, "I promise I wasn't trying to kill that person. I was trying to save."
Oh gosh, you're dead. You're dead. You're so
right.
I'm a gamer.
See, court tries to.
Dude, you're toast.
Court tries to compensate for that a little bit.
I do think they take intentions into account.
They do.
But
Yeah,
somebody has to go to jail.
Somebody has to be accountable, and so, like, in the case of, like, negligent manslaughter, like, no one intended to kill someone,
right?
But they still are accountable for not being more careful, right?
Right. And so they still go to jail, but it's but
it's much less severe than homicide.
And or they simply at least give it a different name, if not less of a punishment.
Right. But no, I think that the standard is that manslaughter is much less of a punishment than
I think it depends. But
no, I don't think it depends.
I really think that
Really?
like you can't, because there are certain rules about like what kinds of sentences you can give to certain.
The reality of that is it depends.
And there's also
on
like
how
minimum,
rich you are. But
whatever it's called. But
minimum sentences. For
yeah, so like if you murder someone, you can't go to jail for less than like 20 years or something.
Right.
Whereas, man, I'm not sure what
the minimum sentence is for manslaughter.
Yeah, and I know that. So like they do take intention into account, but you know, again, like we were talking about, someone has to be held accountable for those things.
Right.
So I guess the answer then is it depends on what you're looking at. Intentions, if you ask me, I think intentions are more important. If you're, talking about like on an interpersonal level. Wow, I can't do this thing. On an interpersonal, blah blah blah. Interpersonal.
You're underwater.
level,
No one blames you for
then so if you're trying to determine who would be a good friend, or if you should trust someone, or anything like that,
Sure.
then intentions are more important than outcomes. But I guess on a societal level, where you're talking about,
For the
more than just a small group of people, where your actions have outcomes on, society at large or a whole group of people.
Right.
Strangers aren't going to say, "Oh, well, he's a good person, so he shouldn't go to jail." Only your friends and family are going to say that.
Right.
So your outcomes need to be taken into account more than your intentions on that level.
I think the reason for that is there's a certain level of a different type of accountability that goes on between friends and family that you don't get on a societal level.
Because in general, you trust your friends and family, right?
Right, and then you
so you say, okay, well, I get that maybe you didn't mean to do
some
that.
sort of trust as well, whereas you don't lose any trust on a societal level because nobody outside of your small groups trusted you.
They don't
anyway,
already
right?
trust you.
Right.
And I guess that's why it's so hard being a lawyer.
Is it?
Because you have to get people to trust you, people you don't know.
Right, but that comes
not
a
to
little...
trust you, but to trust your client.
Also,
client,
when it comes to things like leadership, for example, the outcomes of your actions are a lot more important for earning people's trust than your intentions as a leader.
That's
like, you can have the best intentions, but you cannot be an effective leader unless your outcomes match those.
That is definitely true, especially for like big time leaders like presidents and
that's why George
CEOs.
Washington was the only non-controversial one. He already had everyone's trust, and then his intentions actually lined up with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's why he was able to work any of it out.
Wow, that was a much easier the second time.
It took you forever to get this far.
Yeah, like I remember having trouble even with the. Wow, he's just gonna walk.
Well, I remember you couldn't figure out how to blow up the rock.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Yeah, because that was hidden.
Oh! Ha! Ha ha! I was right!
Brilliant, Kyle.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you can just shoot at that one like regular.
That was meant to totally make you look like a fool. You know that, right?
And it did.
Sick.
Remember that one, Rock?
Yeah.
How long
It took forever.
Yeah, it turns out I know how to play the game now.
Really?
Alrighty.
This has been Platonic Gaming.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Let us know your opinions, because we always love to hear the opinion of the internet.
It's my favorite opinion.
Only one's interested in us. I want to say all of them.
We also want to know
very
your
picky.
opinion on Dallon's gaming skills.
That's true. I haven't even died a single time.
That's true.
Not to brag.
Way
not
better than we did the first time.
That's true. The first Emmy. Okay, you guys don't know this, but there was a secret recording that we did when I very first bought this game, and
We will post it shortly.
that's untrue. We will not post
never
it.
post it.
Well, I won't say never, but
Not right now.
It definitely won't be shortly. And oh my gosh, there was a lot of screaming in that one. Ah! No, not like this! Not like this! Run! Ah! No! Ah! No! How did he get in here? Out of there! No!
Screaming, a lot of death. A lot
So
of
much death, yeah.
not shooting the right
A lot of
blocks.
not ideal outcomes.
Yeah. Even though we had ideal
The best
intentions.
intentions.
So this has been Platonic Gaming. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye.
See you next time.
Farewell.
Left, right, slide! Yes! We're out of,
No,
you're not out of the woods. You're not out of the woods.
You're not up. Get up. No, go! Don't go up. Still
Go! Slide under! Slide under! Get out of there!
No, not down. Down. Left.
You're gonna die.
You're
You're gonna
trapped.
die.
You're trapped.
Okay.
Why?
Now.
You did it!
Get out!
Go to the door! Go to the door!
Oh,
Slide
you're
under!
right,
Slide under!
slide.
No!